Abraham, the journey of faith and promise. Welcome to the Blessed Insight YouTube channel. Today, we're going to explore the incredible story of Abraham, one of the most important figures in the Bible. Abraham is called the father of many nations, and his life is full of faith, trust, and amazing promises from God. Let's begin at the very start. Abraham was originally named Abram. He lived in a city called Ur in Mesopotamia, a place that is now part of modern-day Iraq. One day, when Abram was about 75 years old, God spoke to him. God said, "Leave your home, your family, and your country. Go to a land that I will show you." God promised Abram that he would make him into a great nation. He promised that Abram's descendants would be as many as the stars in the sky. And through Abram, all the families of the earth would be blessed. Even though Abram didn't know where he was going, he trusted God. He obeyed immediately. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all their possessions, and set out on a long journey. They traveled to a land called Canaan. God promised that this land would one day belong to Abram's descendants. But life was not always easy for Abram and Sarai. They were very old and had no children, which caused them great worry. Yet Abram believed God's promise. God made a special covenant with Abram, telling him that his descendants would inherit the land of Canaan. God asked Abram to look up at the stars and count them if he could. That was how many children he would have. Years passed, and Sarai still had no children. She suggested that Abram have a child with her maidservant, Hagar. Abram agreed, and Hagar bore a son named Ishmael. But God had a different plan. When Abram was 99 years old, God changed his name to Abraham, meaning father of many, and Sarai's name to Sarah, meaning princess. God promised that Sarah herself would have a son named Isaac. Sarah laughed at this promise because of her old age, but God's word was true. When Abraham was 100 years old, Sarah gave birth to Isaac. Isaac was the son of promise, the heir through whom God's covenant would continue. Abraham's faith was tested when God asked him to sacrifice Isaac. Though it was heartbreaking, Abraham obeyed. Just as he was about to offer Isaac, an angel stopped him. God provided a ram to sacrifice instead, showing his provision for those who trust him. Abraham was also known for his courage and kindness. He rescued his nephew Lot from captivity and welcomed 3 strangers who were actually angels. These angels told Abraham that Sarah would soon have a son. Later, Abraham pleaded with God to spare the wicked cities of Sodom and Gomorrah if righteous people could be found there. The cities were destroyed, but Lot and his family were saved. In his later years, Abraham ensured Isaac married Rebekah, keeping the family line pure. Abraham lived a long, full life and was buried beside Sarah in the cave of Machpelah, the first land he owned in the Promised Land. Abraham's story teaches us to trust God's promises, obey his commands, and have faith even when the future seems uncertain. Through Abraham, all nations would be blessed. Thank you for joining this journey through Abraham's incredible story of faith. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share.